it's Tiny Tay, and we are back today with some more shenanigans. Some cup shenanigans, to be specific. If you are new here, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. If you're returning, hi, welcome back. I've missed you. Let's get into today's video, and as you can see by the title of this caption, this is going to be a comparison video of Stanley and Simple Modern cups. I have a long list of notes here to kind of keep me on track, because if not, we'd probably be here for the next 2 days, and no one wants that. But I'm going to start off with a simple physical comparison of them both. But before we can do that, we need to talk about the two different types of Stanleys. The first type of Stanley is going to be your OG Stanley. This has the flat clip that says Stanley on it, and no rubber grip anywhere on the top of the lid or on the handle. So this is all completely hard plastic. It's a closer look. Nothing on the handle here, nothing on the top. No rubber on the inside where the straw would go. There's nothing. It's just an open hole. The next type of Stanley is the 2.0 Stanley. This is the Stanley that's going to have the rubber on the side as well as on the top of the lid, and this now rubber gasket where the straw would go. Side-by-side comparison, rubber gasket, rubber handle, and the little inside hole there. That's, again, 2.0 OG. You can call this 1.0, but I'm calling it OG. Everyone calls it OG. So this is the two different types of Stanleys. I'm going to compare OG to Simple Modern because it's easier for my brain, and I'll get into the whole 2.0 thing in a second. But this is a comparison, physical comparison. As you can see, Simple Modern has the rubber gasket that goes completely through, and that does come off for cleaning. You can pop it out. Also take these out for cleaning, and I just want to kind of show people because I know there was a huge thing on TikTok with people saying like, oh, I never wash my emotional support water bottle. After I took microbiome, it's changed my life. Like, I don't care if there's only water in it, I'll be washing it. But anyway, going back to the original topic, this is how you pop them out. You squeeze these two things on the side here. It's kind of hard to do at this angle. You squeeze those two things, it comes right out. Be careful because these are hard to replace. And you wash under and inside and all of this. Make sure you're getting it. I'm not sure if this top rubber piece comes off. I don't want to try it because they can't be replaced, but you try it at your own will. Either way, be sure you're just disconnecting it from the top and getting into all those crevices, especially because the tops are not exchangeable. That was my understanding of it, unless it's changed, but they only sell the 2.0 lids now. So if you break an OG lid, then you can't put that onto the OG lid. And then to get it back in, you get it in on one side, like where the rivets are, and then you just push it through, and then it goes a simple snap like that, and then it's back on. In my opinion, both Stanleys are heavier than the Simple Modern, especially when they're filled. They're heavy. Like, my Simple Modern, even when it's filled, I feel like is lighter. I haven't weighed them because that's like, I don't know, I just have never thought to do that. But I do feel like personally the Stanleys would come out heavier, whether they're filled or not filled. And of course that goes with how much ice you put in it and if you're filling it all the way, all the little things like that. A lot of people were upset with me during my ice test that I didn't do it like a whole scientific method ice test, specifically for my Hydro Flask ice test. At the end of the day, if a cup can say it can hold ice to 12 or 24 hours, or whichever number that it's saying it should be able to, it should be able to. That's all I have left to say about that because the girlies were mad. The next thing I will say is that the Stanley straws are better than the Simple Modern straws. In my experience, every single Simple Modern I've ever ordered has come with 2 straws, 2 colorful straws, which is fun. But they're always bent because the way they put them in the box and the way the box is designed with how the cup sits in it, it sits right up against the cup, which is fine. I mean, like, it really is so small on the level of things, especially because half the straw will not be seen. It doesn't matter, but that's just something that I have noticed. And on top of that, the Simple Modern straws are a little, I don't want to say bad quality, but they're just more easily bent and, like, misshapen. I was accidentally hit an ice cube when I was putting it into my Simple Modern cup, and the straw itself actually, like, bent. I think I have a picture of it. I'll insert it here if I can find it. Versus the only time I've ever had a Stanley straw bent was when I dropped my cup from, like, hip level, and it landed directly onto the straw, and it didn't even, like, bend. The plastic just has a little, like, rivet in it. But the Simple Modern straws are just more of a softer plastic to me. Also, this is, like, my own personal opinion. I love the idea of a colored straw, but I absolutely never, ever reach for them. Like, ever. I never reach for my colored straws. Even though I know their exact match to the cups, I just never do. I use my Stanley straws for both my Stanley cups and my Simple Modern cups in both the 40 ounce and the bigger sizes. I use my Stanley straws for all of them. And aside from the one time that I poked it with my ice in my, like, 40 ounce, I only have ever used a Simple Modern straw in my classic Simple Modern cup, which is like their skinny tumbler, and that's how I know that their straws don't hold up. Those are the 2 times that I have been shown that their straws don't hold up. Another thing, while on the design and physical of it, I love the sleekness of the Simple Modern cups. I think they look so nice. And one thing that I don't like about Stanley 2.0s, I only have a few because I am a notorious hater of this different color grip situation. I hate it. I talked to you about it in my Vlogmas. The reason that I didn't get the Magnolia Heart and Hearth cups was because they made, not only did they make this grip a different color, they made these 2 grips different colors. First of all, I hate the grip. I think it personally adds nothing to the cup. They can say that the 2.0 is more leak proof or leak resistant, and it's not, in my opinion, to me. They're both gonna spill, they're both gonna leak, and when I say both, I mean both the OG and the 2.0. Both spill and leak for me, and that's fine. It's a cup with a straw. I realistically know that that is going to spill if it's tipped over, but in my opinion, changing the whole cup design and still having the risk that it's gonna spill, the thing about the 2.0 is that every time it spilled for me, it spilled slower, but a spill is a spill. I personally do not think that we should have gone with this whole grip design just to have a slight change. It's like giving up 90% just to potentially be able to reach 91%. For me, it doesn't hit. I love the cups where they make the grip, I mean this whole plastic thing and the grip on the handle all the same color. This is Flint, which is one of my favorite OGs that I've never been able to get my hands on. So I settled with the 2.0 version of Flint. A lot of people don't care about the grips because from the side and when you're carrying it, like, you don't see it, but it just bothers me for whatever reason. But one thing I will say is that Stanley is doing their due diligence to bring back OG colors in 2.0. A great example of this is that LL Bean actually just quietly kind of soft launched a OG color that's called Ash that is fairly sought after in a 2.0 colorway. I'll post a picture of the OG and the 2.0, and we obviously know that they've already released a Shale 2.0, which was an original color, and that they do have some new releasings of a one that's really similar to Glass and Bay coming out. As I'm recording this, I can already tell that this is going to be a longer video. I'm going to try and speed it up and still get into the level of quality that I would like to. But if you're still watching this far, thank Thanks, guys. Another thing I want to say about the physical aspect of Simple Modern is that they do have a lot more fun and like festive and creative designs, as well as like holiday specific designs. Stanley just released like the pink mistletoe, and then they have like a blue twist mistletoe coming out too, but even then those were inconsistent. Some people were getting 2 straws, some people were getting 1 straw. Simple Modern just usually does not have that problem for the most part. They have pretty large quantities. They don't sell out right away. Modern also is pretty good at restocking even the like popular cups that they have sometimes. Versus Stanley, they kind of will have like no cups for a few months and then just drop a bunch of cups and then kind of have quite a few problems. If you go on Stanley Instagram page, and you can see that they promised if you ordered by a certain date that you would have it shipped before Christmas. I'm currently filming this after Christmas, but the comments were mad because Stanley's shipping takes a long time. Like, it's not fast shipping at all, and I've also heard and seen experiences where their customer service is less than great, but since I don't have any personal experience with that, I'm not going to comment on it. I will say I do have personal experience with Simple Modern customer service, and they are speedy and very efficient and also very welcoming in my experience with them. Also, in terms of leaking, Simple Modern, their Trex, which is the name of their like Stanley version, whatever, are leak resistant, but their water bottles are leak proof, which is super nice. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they don't say it because of course they don't want to open themselves up to liability and like, you know, claims of whatever, but in my experience, Simple Modern is leak proof, dare I say. But I don't baby my cups, and when I say I've knocked this bad boy over, I don't even flinch. I don't look back. I let it sit there for 5 minutes before I even come and pick it up because I know there will not be a single drop, in my experience, out of this cup. Like, they can't say it, but I'm gonna say, in my experience, these have been leak proof. And like adults, we can all make informed decisions. Next, we're going to talk about the customization abilities of each cup. So for the customization, I guess, of each cup, they both slightly vary but are also very similar. Stanley has 5 fonts and monogramming as well as Greek letters. And you can do horizontal, vertical, and pictures on Stanley's engraving or customization. Simple Modern, for like the last few weeks when I've been going to their site, their customize like abilities have been glitching. The last time I can remember, they had 4 fonts, but every time I go on it now, it says they have like 8, but 4 or 5 of them are the same. So I'm gonna go with, for the sake of this video, at least have 3 fonts. You can only do horizontal, and you can only do words only. And if I'm going to be honest, Stanley's customization does seem like the better choice on this one, despite the cup itself being higher priced. But Stanley's customization is $12, and you can do all those different things, while Simple Modern's is $15. Also, for both of the companies, you cannot engrave their big tumblers. I'm sure this has something to do with the size. I don't know for sure, but who wants to be customizing these juggle-luggle-bubbas? I would not want to be. These are obviously a few ounce difference. This one's 64 ounce and it's a 2.0. I wish that these would have come in OG. Of course, that was, you know, not a thought at the time, but still. This one's 50 ounce and has the same type of design as the rest of them. And that's just a side-by-side look, because I don't remember if I've ever showed these side-by-side before. And the last major difference before we go into the similarities is that their big 50 ounce guy is $35, and the Stanley 64 ounce $60, which I would probably go with this one. But I love them both, just not worth the additional money for the few extra ounces to me. And Stanley's quencher is $45, while Simple Modern is from $29 to $35. They have some like leopard 3D printed ones. Those are going to be the $35 ones. And then they have just like the basic colored regular versions of their cups, and those are going to be the $29.99 ones. Into the similarities, this is going to be probably the thing that most people are wondering, but they both hold ice to the same wonderful extent in my opinion. If you haven't watched my 64-ounce ice test, feel free to check out, even if you just scroll through, how long the ice truly lasts. And I would easily say that the Simple Modern is comparable to that. Again, I don't know if I'll be doing any more ice tests because tough crowd. But if I were to do an ice test on the Simple Modern 50 ounce, I really do feel like that it would hold up to the same extent. Obviously, it's not an exact same replication of the ice test because they are different ounces. So you can obviously just put more ice in the Stanley one. But realistically, when I carry them both and I swap my cups out a lot, like to match my outfits, depending on the holiday, yada yada, I swap my cups out. They both hold up. Chef's kiss. I would not pick one or the other when it comes to holding ice. Next, they both can take a beating. I have dropped both brands of these cups and neither of them have been horribly dented. In fact, so they both can take a fairly good beating. Neither of my cups for the majority have really bad dents at all. Actually, now that I think of it, I dropped this one off of a kitchen island that was at my hip. I'm 5'4", and this is the only dent that came out of it, which is nothing considering it literally was like right onto the floor because it was filled with ice. That is such a baby dent in comparison to how you see people's hydro flasks dented up. Last but not least, I just want to talk about the interchangeability of cup accessories because that's very important to a lot of people who like use bows and all of the things on their cups. I'm not a bow girl yet, mostly because I don't want to pay for it, and I know that I can make them on my Cricut. So straws, the Simple Modern straws and the Stanley straws both can fit the straw toppers on them as long as your straw topper is the right size. Same with the boot. This is my cup that I'm currently using. This is the straw topper I have on it that I got this from Sierra Trading Company, the company that's a part of TJ Maxx and all. This is what the straw toppers are, and this is the boot. I actually only own this one boot. I just interchanged it on all of my cups. I didn't use a boot for a long time until I noticed the bottoms of my cups started getting scratched because I have like a granite thing on my desk in my room, and as long as you're getting a straw topper that's the right size, they are going to be interchangeable, which is cost effective unless you're one of those girls that like all the accessories for every single season, which I totally get. But this video is already long enough. That's all I have to say. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think or your thoughts. Do you have a Stanley? Do you have a Simple Modern? Which would you pick? Did this video help you? Please let me know all of the things. I love you guys. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Bye!